Hey guys, it's Chris Reuter from Tellius. And today we're going to be talking about chemical compounds and how attributes of those compounds can maybe make for a better or worse compound. Sounds kind of boring, and I agree, so let's spice it up a little bit. Let's talk about wine. Today we're in the Portuguese Duomo Valley, and we're going to be talking about Portuguese wines. We got a great data set from UC Irvine. I'll copy a link below. You can maybe follow along and do some of your own analysis. So hopping right into Tellius, we've already got our data loaded, so let's just look at I'd like to see the overall count of wines. Looks like we're at about 6,500. What I'd really like to see here is ratings, wine ratings, a histogram of the wine ratings. Now, what are we talking about? It looks like we've got quite a few ratings between 5, 6, and 7, and then very few high quality 8 and 9s. Again, it looks like only about 193 and then 5. So under 200 very high quality wines versus several thousand of each of the mid or lower quality wines. So let's visualize some more of our data. I don't have to ask a question every time. Luckily, I've already saved some queries. I'll look at this VizPad and I can see, again, the quality information, the balance of red versus white in my data set, and maybe some combinations of attributes that might make for a good wine. But I really would like to dive a little bit deeper. Again, this is all the what. Show me one or two dimensions. Let's look at some more complex analysis. At Tellius, we call that insights. So we'll go to some insights. We'll look at first red versus white wine. This is a good class comparison, just comparing different attributes of red versus white. What drives a higher rating in white versus a higher rating in red? We can go to some more insights, and let's take a look at some segments of wine that might be more likely to be high quality. In this case, Tellius has identified 5 segments. The top one is 8.3 times more likely to be high quality based on a given criteria. We can see the top 2 criteria for these segments, alcohol and sulfur dioxide. Let's explore that. So let's map that out on a scatter plot, and we can see, okay, alcohol and sulfur dioxide, we find some really interesting clusters here. In particular, this cluster. These are higher quality wines. We can see that in between about 22 and 35 sulfur dioxide, and in between about 11.5, 12.5 alcohol content, there seems to be quite a few high quality wines in here. So that might be worth exploring. So we've looked at some insights. I'd really like to look at some predictive capabilities as well. Luckily, we've got that here in the same project. So we've created 2 different models. First, the same kind of clustering segmentation that we just looked at, but repeatable with a machine learning model behind it. You can see here, this kind of verifies to us alcohol, the higher the alcohol is actually very correlated with a higher rating, which I find personally kind of funny. You can see this cluster right here, this red cluster, cluster 3, is almost all very high alcohol, over 11.5 or 12%. Whereas some of these other wines, much lower alcohol, it looks like much lower ratings. So let's go back, and I'd like now to understand, can I actually predict based on chemical attributes what a wine quality might be? This might help me as a grower to understand when should I be irrigating, when should I be covering my crops, when should I be harvesting, and how long should I be fermenting. So we can see here, this regression model is actually making predictions here on the x-axis and comparing them to the actual ratings on the y-axis, just to give us a little bit of a quality metric. Our quality is not the best here. We don't have a very huge data set. The larger the data set, the more the quality is going to be. And then finally, I want to know, why did Tellius make a prediction? Why did you say, all right, this wine should be a 5.0 rating? Tellius is giving me answers right here. The number one factor is that the alcohol in this case was over 8.1 and acidity was below 3.11. 2 big factors as to why the quality is going to be fairly average. So we're back in Portugal. Thanks for watching. This is really interesting. I think we spiced it up with wine, but you could see this being applied to any kind of chemical type of analysis to understand what are my attributes of my chemical, how can I change my manufacturing process, maybe to make a better outcome. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.